Murder charges laid in the killing of a Calgary teen.
Carter's death was senseless, and the lives of everyone involved have now been changed.
Police accuse 3 youth of luring the boy to his death. Plus, Calgary's mayor raises a proposal to ban certain flags at City Hall. And the art of the deal.
It feels rewarding, gratifying, first of all, just making that first initial sale.
Students showcase their creations while brushing up on business.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Terry Fikowski.
Good evening. First-degree murder charges have been laid in the killing of a Calgary teenager this summer. In a shocking development, the accused are just 15 years old, and police accuse the group of luring Carter Spivak-Villeneuve to his death. Carter was found dead in the 300 block of Abigail Drive Northeast around 1:20 in the morning of August 1st. A neighbor who called 911 that night says he'd been stabbed. Homicide detectives allege the 3 were involved in some sort of dispute with Carter and had arranged to meet him that night. On Tuesday, a 15-year-old was arrested by the RCMP on the Muskokan First Nation in Saskatchewan. Yesterday, 2 15-year-olds were arrested in Calgary, and today police say all 3 were charged with first-degree murder. The accused can't be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, and investigators say their ages only add to the troubling nature of this tragedy.
Let's boil it down to this is a stupid dispute amongst youth that probably have not fully thought through the consequences of here, and then it's got devastating, life-altering consequences for everybody involved here, and it's not worth it. But at this stage, you know, there's a group mentality and they follow through, and now look what happens.
Carter's mother tells CTV News that she's in shock and never thought this day would come. Neighbors who live near a memorial in his honor say the loss continues to weigh heavily on the entire community. One of the Calgary teens charged appeared in court today. The other 2 accused will appear tomorrow. Police have also charged a boy with aggravated assault after they say he was involved in a fight with his brother. That boy is in hospital with life-threatening injuries. The fight happened yesterday afternoon at a home in the 4000 block of 37th Street Southwest. Because the boys are youths, the identities of those involved are protected. A Calgary woman is speaking out after being struck by a vehicle in a northeast crosswalk earlier this month. She was thrown several meters and suffered bruising all over her body, but a genetic disorder may have saved her life. And as Tyson Fedor reports, police are still on the hunt for the driver who failed to stop.
She was supposed to be on her way to a Halloween party at her friend's house in Abbeydale on November 1st.
A car came rushing past me, and I remember backing up. But as I backed up, another one had come. That's the part that's kind of really fuzzy.
Jasmine Norman was in this crosswalk on 68th Avenue and 4th Street Northeast around 7 p.m. It's only several hundred meters from her home. It's where the 22-year-old was struck by a vehicle that never stopped. Nearly 2 weeks later, she wears braces on her wrist and ankles with bruises covering the majority of her body.
Some witnesses said they believe it was a black SUV going about 120. The sounds of the cars are still freaking me out and everything. Or if I see headlights or hear a horn, instantly I get a panic attack.
The Normans also have a genetic disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It makes joints very flexible and skin very stretchy, and even saved her life.
It's really hard when one of your children who's technically an adult is hurt. When they're little, you can kiss it better, and it works. But I couldn't kiss this better.
Even though she's all grown up, to her mother, what happened to her baby girl is a living nightmare.
Because of our genetic condition, which is 90% of the time not favorable and a pain in the butt, this time it actually saved our little girl's life.
As of Wednesday, Calgary has had 405 injury-related pedestrian collisions this year. There have been 12 fatalities and 18 non-injury collisions.
We need a cultural shift in how we approach road safety. That means slowing down, staying alert, and respecting all road users, especially our most vulnerable, pedestrians, cyclists, and children.
Police say they circled the area unable to locate the driver. They are looking for a newer, darker colored sedan with front-end damage. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Police say they're looking for any CCTV or dash cam video from that night. If you have any information, you're asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. A new report out of the University of Calgary shows domestic violence rates continue to rise. The study focused on data from Cochrane RCMP. Between 2020 and 2024, domestic violence incidents in that area increased by 59%. Of the 668 total charges laid, 78% were against men. Assault and assault with a weapon or assault causing bodily harm were the most common offenses. The study offers recommendations aimed at addressing the increases and stopping the violence.
Every Albertan needs to build their skills and awareness around understanding the issue and then how to lean in and to provide support, not only to victims, but how do we disrupt this behavior with men and young boys?
The UFC study echoes what's happening in the rest of the province. Stats Canada found between 2022 and 2023, Alberta had one of the highest rates of intimate partner violence in Canada, behind Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Calgary's mayor thinks the practice of national flag raisings at City Hall should come to an end. The city's current flag policy allows citizens to request the raising of national flags from countries officially recognized by Canada. Jeremy Farkas says in the past few days, Calgarians from many communities have raised concerns about the practice. He says the flag raisings are now creating division, and City Hall must be a place that brings people together. Next week, the mayor plans to introduce a motion to end national flag raisings. And a motion to repeal blanket rezoning will be presented at an executive committee meeting on Monday. It's signed by the mayor along with 6 councillors. Monday's meeting is the first step. It could then go to council in December. If it passes, administration will have until mid-February to prepare an amended land use bylaw. After more than a decade without, Calgarians voted to reintroduce fluoride into the water system in 2021. But just 4 years later, some in the UCP want to revisit the move, and they're hoping the government will back them up. Tim Brooke has more now on the reignited fluoride debate.
In 2 weeks, UCP members will vote on 35 new ideas for the party. Among them, Policy Resolution 27, a call to end the practice of community water fluoridation because it constitutes medical treatment without consent.
There's money in causing people to be frightened.
Many can't believe it's a subject being brought up again. Fluoride was reintroduced into Calgary's water system after 62% of voters said they were in favor of it in 2021.
The people of Calgary want fluoridation. They know what happened when it was taken. They had a decade of decay and they're fed up with it.
Anti-fluoride groups are currently in court and say they are lobbying the province to take away the naturally occurring mineral. Like some south of the border, they believe fluoride is dangerous.
Only about 205,000 Calgarians voted for water fluoridation in 2021, and about 130,000 voted against it. But right now, there's about 1.8 million people that are being fluoridated.
Of course, no decisions have been made, and UCP policy resolutions aren't automatically turned into law if members vote yes. But they have often been a jumping-off point for future legislation.
I think it's just another case of the UCP in general wanting to control everything in municipalities. The overreach that they've already shown is it's pretty significant and quite appalling.
The party, the Municipal Affairs Minister, and the constituency associations which submitted the policy resolution all denied interview requests.
We are continuing to work with municipalities who would like input into that decision making. But, Mr. Speaker, it is a municipal decision at this point in time.
And dentists are hoping it stays that way.
It's proven to reduce cavity risk in communities that have it, across all ages, but especially in younger children. We really are acting in everyone's best interest and kind of against our own by suggesting fluoride go in waters.
The AGM starts November 28th in Edmonton. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Calgary's new mayor takes exception to the AGM's policy idea, saying the decision to reintroduce fluoride was made by voters in the city and hopes the province will respect their decision. Well, things are looking up for a Calgary soccer club and the entire soccer community. This is a time lapse of the inflation of a new air-supported soccer dome this morning. It took about 2 hours to inflate. It's located at the Calgary Villains Club, just behind the Hotel Blackfoot along 59th Avenue Southeast. The project has been in the works for more than 5 years. The 67,000 square foot facility is big enough for a full soccer game, but it will often be split into 2 or 4 sections, so multiple games can be played at once. It is an emotional day for the Villains sporting director, who says more facilities like this are sorely needed.
Just for the kids. That's what it's all about. I mean, we want kids to play soccer. We don't want facilities to be a barrier. We've got a number of inquiries already from a lot of large user groups, which is awesome, and so we're going to kind of keep working through those rental groups. But really, you could fill the dome probably 4 times over.
Field turf will be installed inside next month, and the facility is set to open in January. Other sports like ultimate frisbee and flag football can also be played. The project cost is $6.5 million, which is all being financed from sponsorships and donations. Danielle joins us now with our first look at the forecast. Warm, windy today, but dare I say, snow is on the way?
Yeah, so we had the windy conditions that brought the temperatures up. The Chinook machine in action. That's gone for tomorrow. So tonight the winds switch. Instead of coming out of the southwest like we had today, which got us up to 16 degrees, we are looking at wind switching coming out of the northwest. It's a colder wind, no more Chinook conditions, which means we have wind chill tomorrow morning. So it will feel more like -6 with the wind chill at 8 a.m. We also are looking at on and off flurries continuing through the overnight hours, and tomorrow morning up until about 10 o'clock in the morning is when we have that potential. And then in the afternoon, things clear out. We get some sunshine, but just a daytime high of 3, which actually is normal for this time of year. That full forecast is just ahead.
Thanks, Danielle. An old rivalry seems to be on hold as 2 well-known grizzlies get ready for hibernation. The Boss and Split Lip were within kilometers of each other, eating berries along the railway when photographer Jason Leo Bantle spotted them. The 2 bears have often battled, but the Boss always maintains dominance. Tons of grain spilled by trains often becomes easy food, but it's dangerous too. At least 3 grizzlies were killed on the tracks in the past 6 months. Nice to see they're getting along, or at least tolerating each other. Up next, the federal government has announced 6 new nation-building projects, but Alberta's pitch for a new pipeline is missing from that list. Why Premier Smith remains optimistic, coming up.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
4 provinces will host a new major nation-building project greenlit by the federal government. But so far, Alberta is not one of them, and the pipeline pitched by the government hasn't been approved. Premier Danielle Smith told reporters this afternoon the province is still optimistic. The line to the coast she's been pushing is still in discussion with Ottawa, and while it wasn't greenlit today, Smith is happy with the conversations being had.
Are we going to get to the finish line on an MOU? We'll know in a few more days. I'm very hopeful. I think if you watch the Prime Minister when he announced his major projects list today, he is also encouraged. We've made a lot of progress. We've been going back and forth on an MOU every day, I think, as we're getting the final wording, and I'm really hopeful that we'll have something more to say about that in a few days.
The federal energy minister also gave pipeline proponents reason for hope. He told CTV News he's comfortable with how discussions are progressing. Another round of major projects will be approved in the months ahead. A new report shows the climbing cost to live modestly in Alberta. The living wage needed to cover the basics jumped again in nearly every municipality across the province. And it's not just the big cities. Calgary's neighbors are seeing price hikes as well. Here's Jordan Cadigan.
The Airdrie Food Bank thought demand would peak over COVID, but its numbers keep climbing.
Well, 30%, 33% each year increase in numbers and the amount we're giving out and stuff like that, the need.
The cost of food keeps going up along with housing and transportation, but wages are not keeping up.
Every month when we go, the prices are up higher. And we're on pensions.
No, it just doesn't seem to stop. Every time we come to the store, stuff is higher.
You know, I get those little dollars every 3 months added to my pension, but it certainly doesn't do much to compensate for the speed at which everything is going up.
According to Vibrant Communities Calgary, 15 of the 21 municipalities tracked in Alberta saw the living wage increase. It's the amount a person needs to make to meet basic needs and live modestly.
We really heard from Calgarians that they are struggling. You know, we know that food costs were going up, but also with childcare and transportation, there's a number of factors adding a lot of pressures.
Jasper tops the list with a living wage of $31.80 an hour. Airdrie's jumped to $29 per hour. Calgary is third, up $2 since last year to $26.50.
So earning a living wage can really mean the difference between living and just getting by and living well.
The biggest driver for Calgarians seeing the cost of living climb is transportation. Insurance, gas, and registration all went up. In Airdrie, housing and food prices climbed.
We've had people come by and say, "Oh, you like the look of my truck? I live in it. So please give me things that I can just microwave at the gas station."
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
Calgary's living wage is now 77% higher than the minimum wage in Alberta. The agency points out there are some improvements. The move to lower provincial income tax for low-income Albertans is making a positive impact. Well, people staying in Alberta communities could see an added tax to their hotel rooms or short-term rentals. At the Alberta Municipalities Convention today, over 74% of members voted in favor of a municipal accommodation tax. It would apply to guests staying in hotel rooms or Airbnbs. The city of Airdrie brought forward the resolution and says the tax in their community would be between 3 to 4%. It estimates that would bring in $1 million, which would go towards funding infrastructure impacted by tourism and marketing to help bring people to the area. Well, maybe your opportunity to get a unique piece of art from a rising star in the art world. The Alberta University of the Arts is holding its 34th annual art show and sale. Organizers say there are one-of-a-kind paintings, sculptures, jewelry, and glassworks at the event. The students not only create their items, they also take a 6-week program to learn the business side of their craft and how to price their art.
It's a very personal thing to give your artwork to the public, and since I'm the sort of in between, that middleman, I get to see how they've grown, what they continue to love doing. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm getting goosebumps because I love working with the students. They're so much fun.
The show and sale runs Friday afternoon and from 10 to 4 on Saturday at Alberta University of the Arts. The Saturday event is free to the public. We've posted more information up on our website. Okay, well, here's something we haven't said often, at least for November. We've got snow on the way. Danielle's going to tell us how much coming up.
Well, the Chinook machine has been working its magic, you could say, for much of this week. And today, no exception, we got up to 16 degrees in the city. Not bad. November 13th, a normal daytime high is 3 degrees, so well above normal. Came at a bit of a price. We had some gusty conditions, especially south of the city. But south of the city, many communities got to the 20s. Edmonton got to 1 today, Victoria 11, Vancouver 12. So we've had warmer weather, as you can see, off in Western Canada. And again, in the southeast corner, Medicine Hat, Brooks, Milk River, Lethbridge got into the 20s today. You know, for mid-November, it's pretty toasty. But these were the winds, and they were predominantly out of the west and southwest for today. 93 kilometers per hour was the max gust in Pincher Creek, 80 in Lethbridge, close to 70 in Medicine Hat. It was a little more reasonable, but still windy. Calgary, Brooks, and Drumheller in the 40s today. The winds will calm down for tomorrow in most communities, so you can take off about 20 kilometers per hour, and that's what you're looking at in your community for tomorrow. We have this system that's already started to make its way in. Snow for the higher elevations, great for the ski hills. Terrible for road conditions, especially along parts of Highway 93. Now, this snowfall, we could see up to 30 centimeters, higher elevations in the Banff, Kananaskis area. This is where we're looking. But Banff town site, just a couple centimeters is likely from this. And again, because the ground is so warm, a lot of it melting on contact. Just to give you an idea of what we can expect, if you remember the system we had earlier in Calgary, the last system, we got some snowfall through the morning hours. It collected on the cars, a little bit in the grass as well, but melted on contact with the sidewalks and the pavement and the roads. Similar idea with this one. We're only looking at 0 to 2 centimeters of snow in Calgary, and most communities along Highway 2, QE2, looking at anywhere from 1 to 2 centimeters for the most part. Canmore, a couple centimeters, Cochrane as well, Banff Townside, a couple centimeters, but higher elevations. Again, looking at anywhere from 15 to 30 centimeters, which is why a snowfall warning is in place. The timeline for the snow is mainly through today, tonight, and tomorrow. All right, looking at that longer range forecast for the city, 3 degrees is our high tomorrow. So be prepared for a much cooler day than today. Again, flurries possible up until about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then the clouds will start to clear out in the afternoon. 10 degrees on Saturday. Some sunshine expected as well. Small chance of really early morning precip, but overall the day should be quite nice. Sunday, we start a cool down, and this will be more of a longer term cool down. So next week, most days will struggle to get even above those mid-single digits for daytime highs.
Thanks, Danielle. The warmer weather has Marmot Basin and Jasper postponing its opening day. The ski hill was originally hoping to open tomorrow, but warmer temperatures delayed its snowmaking operations. Marmot is aiming to have its opening day sometime next week now. It comes as ski hills like Sunshine and Lake Louise opened earlier than expected for the season due to snowfall in some higher elevations. All right, from snow to flames, the Calgary Flames trying to get back into the win column tonight. And guess what? They pulled it off. Highlights from their matchup against the Sharks down at the Dome is next. A Calgary tradition continues at the Grey Cup. A horse walked into a hotel in Winnipeg tonight. This tradition began in 1948 when Stampeder fans brought a horse into Toronto's Royal York Hotel. The Calgary Grey Cup committee is keeping it going.
It's been awesome. Winnipeg's been outstanding. I'll say Manitoba just in general, but Winnipeg's been outstanding. Hospitality.
Tough Enough will also head to Stamps House and the Winnipeg Art Gallery as part of Grey Cup festivities. The Saskatchewan Roughriders face the Montreal Alouettes Sunday in Winnipeg. Well, it has been a long time coming for Flames fans, but tonight the team broke their losing streak at home at the Dome.
Now it is turned over. Coleman alone. She scores!
Now the Flames started strong by scoring first against the San Jose Sharks. That's Blake Coleman with a goal in the second period. Then with just 6 seconds left in the third, Sam Honzek with an empty netter to seal the deal. Now Dustin Wolf with his first career shutout win against his hometown team tonight. The final, 2-0 Flames. Up next, the team will host the Winnipeg Jets on Saturday night. It's been a long time since we've been able to say that, so go Flames go. We like to see it. And we like to see you all here. We'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night. Thanks so much for joining us.